Okay, I'm back, folks. Sorry about that. Okay. Alright, continuing on. Let's see, what was it? Oh, yeah. Or maybe, if the plot hadn't been diverted for endangered species and its villain that looks like a result of a drunken tryst between the werehog and Linda, especially when it makes Knuckles look like an asshole who will only get involved in a situation if it's threatened to get kidnapped and not when his actual friends need his help. Continuing on, and I quote, VK, I also find it funny that Flynn's mark on the comic, as he put it, will be me, that is, as I put it. Okay, alright, hold on. He says, I also find it funny that Flynn's mark on the comic, as he put it, be me, I guess, will be a reminder of a crappy story that was held up repeatedly, left unfinished for 4 months, padded, repeated the same plot structure for 3 to 4 issues, put shock value before logical sense, used a quote-unquote a wizard did it, made the heroes look like assholes and idiots, had a load of plot holes, and had several readers supporting Jeffrey over Sonic in that infamous trial scene. Furthermore, he can boast all he likes about his 2-year-long story, but the fact of the matter is that subtract the crossover and 242, it's 17 months. If we disregard the repeated storylines 38 and 39, 238, 239, it's 15 months. If we remove 240, since that too was pretty much all filler, then it's 14 months. It's not like it had to be that way. Have the first half focus on Mecha Sally, but at the end of the first year, have her free will restored, but her mecha form remain. And the arc continues, as the Freedom Fighters now have to pursue Nagas, free Jeffrey, and force Nagas to de-roboticize Sally, who all the while is threatened by Eggman's attempts to use the Iron Queen to regain control over her. This also highlights a failure in communication. As I stressed before, Paul Kaminsky stated that Mecha Sally would be in her current state for up to a year. Not over a year, but up to. Meanwhile, Flynn's intention all along has been to make a 2-year-long story arc. So either Flynn did not tell Kaminsky, making him look like a liar, by accident of course, or Kaminsky lied. Trying to get my dog's attention. She's in my mom's plants. I don't know why. What? Again, she must sense a cat or something around there. I don't know. Cats have been coming around this area. Okay, but getting back to what I was saying, let me check my time. Okay, I'm alright. Okay, good. Alright, this also highlights, I'll just repeat what I said, so I apologize. Okay, what was it? All right. This also highlights a failure in communication. As far as, this also highlights a failure in communication. As I stressed before, Paul Kaminsky stated that Mecha Sally would be in her current form for up to a year. Not over a year, but up to. Meanwhile, Flynn's intention all along was to make a 2-year-long story. So either Flynn did not tell Kaminsky, making him look like a liar, by accident of course, or Kaminsky lied. Also, before the Mecha Sally arc, the Iron Dominion arc was before the Mecha Sally arc, the Iron Dominion arc was generally considered one of the worst arcs, or at least the weakest even by some Ian Flynn fans, probably having something to do with how long it was dragged out. Meanwhile, his strongest arc-based work in Sonic material is definitely in Sonic Universe, like the Shadow and Silver sagas. In other words, his strongest artwork is limited to 4 parts, and his weakest was the year-long story arc. maybe they should give a few hints that he writes better when it's not a painfully long story. I think Archie needs to learn the meaning of quality over quantity. If you can write shorter stories better than longer ones, do shorter ones. Don't try to show off. It backfired the last time, and it backfired this time. Sure, you've got people talking, but you've got people like me talking, cynical, bored critics, advising potentially new readers to stay the hell away and only read them online if they're really curious, and certainly not pay for them. And then he says, excuse me, he's got a fan fiction to write. Now that was VK, and I'll provide a link to the to what I just read down below. But basically, if you watch my other video, I talk about how I asked the question of how do you think Ian Flynn feels, and also the video before that where I update 247 status. It basically states that, you know, what I said in that other video is I don't think, and Ian Flynn, whether you like the guy or not, and like I've mentioned before, I've had my problems with him, has stated on DeviantArt, and if not on his forums, that he doesn't like, that he's not all too fond, and is not too much of a fan of the mandates and the orders and stuff like that Sega and even Capcom gives him at times. He's not that big of a fan of them. And here's why. I mean, think about it. Here's why. When you're writing for a comic book or a novel, if you will, you basically want to get that story arc, that long story arc that you're working on. You want to get it panned out. You want to get it done. You want to have it done and over with before you do anything else. You don't want no interruption. You don't want this. You don't want that. You want basically, you know, a straightforward path to getting it done. You don't want no interruptions. You don't want no people, you know, calling you up with their iPhones or whatever, saying, "Oh, by the way, Mr. Flynn, we want you to do an adaptation of the Olympic Games." But I'm doing this thing. I can't do it. Oh, but yeah, but we need this adaptation by, let's say 238. Issue 230 something. But I'm using that as part of the story arc. Well, you can either use that to make an adaptation of this game and support the Olympics, or else you'll be fired and we'll take the license away from Archie Comics. Okay, thank you, bye. That's basically what it is. Or to quote what Angry Joe did during his Star Wars Connect, Angry Joe did during his Star Wars Connect review, he just basically did his own version of why someone like Samuel Jackson turned down, or would have turned down, basically turned down, if you will, a role in Star Wars Connect, to reprise his role in Star Wars Connect. Basically, this is what Angry Joe said. He's like, the quote, he said something like, Sammy, basically he showed the picture of his answering machine, and it's like, Sammy baby, you know, we got this new game, Star Wars Connect. Hey, we'll let you do this, we'll let you do that. So, you know, we'll let you do this, just like you like to. You know, you gotta do this, man, it's in your contract from those prequels. Okay, we'll see you at 7, bye-bye. Or something to that matter, I can't really remember much of it. But again, that's basically like what's here. Either Ian Flynn does talk to them, or pretty much an answering machine will go on, or his voicemail will go on, and it'll be like this. Hey, Ian baby, this is Archie, this is Sega. Yeah, we just talked to Archie Comics, told them we need you guys to do some adaptions in one of your upcoming issues very soon. Yeah, we need this adaptation loosely based on our Olympic crossover with Mario, as well as we need an adaptation for the Transformed game, and we need them in these certain issues. Yeah, we know you probably got a story out going, but it's okay. No one's really gonna care. Just, you know, do this and you'll be fine, my friend. No one's really gonna be mad. It's just a one-off thing. Okay, you gotta do it, man. It's in your contract. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. That's basically what it is. I'm not lying. I mean, if you don't believe me, watch Angry Joe's review of Star Wars Connect, and you see the scene, you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. And think about it. You're Ian Flynn, and you're Paul Kaminsky, and you get that kind of a message on your voicemail, you're probably thinking, shit, we gotta do this? But we can't. We promised the people we would give them a year's worth of this and be done. Now we gotta hold back because they want this? Crap. And I'm pretty sure Paul Kaminsky or someone like Victor Golan probably called them up and said, yo, yeah, but he's got the story arc going. We're interrupted. It'll make no sense. And they're probably thinking, yeah, but it's in your contract. You have to do it. Either that or we'll take it away. And you guys will take the blame for what was left of that so-called Saturday morning cartoon legacy. All right, take care. We'll see the issue. We hope to see the issue released in a few months. Bye-bye. And think about it. You're either Paul or Ian. You're trying to tell them you can't. You know, like this. And you're like, oh, crap. You see, that's basically what it is with someone like, with anybody that writes comics based on, you know, certain franchises. If the people that created the franchise have a lot of say, then there's nothing you can do. Now, I admit, a lot of people have come up with some great ideas for what would have been alternatives. Heck, I even came up with a great idea in a two-part video recently where I talked about how this this long arc could have been done just like that, a lot quicker. But, you know, overall, you know, I don't think Paul Kaminsky, I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I mean, the guy added me on his Twitter, and he actually communicated with me once. So I'm not going to deny, I'm not denying, but I'm not going to say he lied or anything. I just don't think Paul Kaminsky, who is basically above Ian, had any idea Sega was going to ask him to do this. Ask them to do this. I don't think they had any idea Sega was going to say, hey, we want this adaptation in this issue. We want your spin-off to have this adaptation. And I don't think they had any idea Sega and Capcom were going to want the crossover as soon as they wanted it. So, again, I'm pretty sure, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, I'm pretty sure they didn't expect this. That is why, you know, when you go to Ian's Bumble King forum, and if not that, go to his DeviantArt account, you pretty much see that he's very outspoken about the whole situation at times. I mean, he's even told somebody through an email or communication or whatever, saying, yeah, you know, we could say no, but then we'd be fired and we'd lose the license. So, there you go. You know, it's either lose a lot of money for Archie Comics from Sega and probably lose your jobs, or do what they say. There's not really much you can do, especially if it's with a comic book. Well, there is a lot you can do with a comic book and a lot of stories you can write. But if it's a comic book based on a franchise of any kind, and the people that created the franchise have some say, and if they say what they want, and they say they want it now, it's like I said in a text to somebody at the Fans United for Saturday AM forums, what Sega wants, if Sega wants something, they get it, whether we like it or not. And the same with Capcom. Say Capcom wants something now, they get it, whether we like it or not. So, that's all I'm going to say in response to this. Sorry it was in two parts. I'll provide a link down below to this in both videos, and as well as in the playlist description over on this side. So let me know what you guys think. Comment video response down below, and I'll talk to you all later.